Hello everyone, welcome to your February 2026 monthly forecast, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So, I haven't done these for a while. I'm hoping that you guys, share this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new. Um, I need to get my videos more in circulation. There, I just wasn't getting enough views, so it really wasn't worth me doing them. I will always still do the shorts, but we'll see how the monthlies go. Okay, but anyway, so the month actually starts off with a full moon in Leo. Okay, on the 1st. Then on the 3rd, Uranus turns direct. It's still in Taurus. Turns direct. It's finishing its transit in Taurus and moving into Gemini in April. I believe it's April 27th. Anyway, on the 6th, Mercury moves into Pisces. Up until that point, it is still in Aquarius. On the 10th, Venus moves into Pisces, and again, up until that point, it's still in Aquarius. On the 13th, Saturn leaves uh, Pisces for like, what is it, 28 years maybe? I forget the cycle. It spends about 2.5 to 3 years in each zodiac sign, so it takes a while to go completely around the zodiac. So it is leaving Pisces and moving into Aries on the 13th, okay? Then on the 17th, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. On the 18th, the sun moves into Pisces. And then on the 26th, Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces, okay? And there is a link in the description box below. I just left it in there, okay, to a video that I did on Mercury retrograde. Okay, so it's a good idea to check that out. Also, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you can do. I would greatly appreciate it, okay? And thank you so much for your donations, your inquiries, all of that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now for your forecast. Happy birthday, Pisces. Welcome to your February 26th monthly forecast, and happy Valentine's Day. So anyways, before planets move into your sign, they're still in Aquarius in your 12th house. That's where you have the sign of Aquarius. And I do want to cover first, there is a full moon on the 1st, and there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th. Okay. So the full moon on the 1st occurs in your 6th house, where you have the sign of Leo, but there's no planets in Leo right now, so I don't imagine too much drama going on with this full moon. But full moons do exist to bring problems to the surface. Okay, so you can deal with them and then do away with them and not have to revisit this area again. And your 6th house is the house of the workplace, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, your work schedule, your house of health, and your house of service to others. Okay? So they're obviously, like the workplace is a very easy place to have disagreements and problems and whatever, So this would be the day that you voice your, whatever. You say whatever needs to be said, so you don't have to deal with this again. It could be a coworker that just gets on your nerves. Could even be a policy or something at work that is ridiculous, which most of them are. Anyway, it seems that, by doing this, by the time the new moon solar eclipse on the 17th occurs in your 12th house of behind the scenes activities, okay? 12th house is hidden matters. So this could all be happening, something could be happening behind the scenes from the time of this full moon on the 1st up until the new moon on the 17th, okay? Simply because you said something, finally, So, you know, whatever you said or did or whatever could have made a lot of sense to a lot of people, and they're remedying it some way or other. A remedy, okay, whatever. So it could be, you know, either just someone you work with, or it could be a boss or the company in itself, you know. But new moon is one thing. It does bring a new beginning in this area. And again, yours is happening in secret, kind of. It's in your 12th house of behind the scenes activities by you or someone else. This is also the subconscious mind, your dreams, the house of charity and giving, many, many things. But it's basically a secret, a house of secrets. So whatever is going on, that you will more than likely be let in on it. It does bring about possibly an ending with for a new beginning, an eclipse. Um, I have a cat banging down my door. Okay. Anyway, the effects in the eclipse last a little longer than normal. Okay, it really enhances the new moon at this time. So there's no telling how long, you know, there's really no set time. Could be weeks, months, whatever. But an eclipse usually eclipses someone or something out of your life. So whatever your problem was possibly in the workplace maybe, this person may be gone. Or if there's a absurd policy, that could be gone. Sixth house is also the house of service to others. So you may have been helping someone for like a really long time. Just, you know, as some kind of favor or whatever, but it's become a regular thing that you had not planned on doing whatever you were doing to help someone like forever. So that could also end at this time. Okay, so you know, just very, very nice things. You know, Pluto is in Aquarius right now in your 12th house. And I've already mentioned that, you know, people are unaware because Pluto is a very powerful planet. It is, when it's in the 12th house, it means that you have secret power. Or, again, you are the power behind the throne. That's what I always say. That people don't seem to realize that some things don't happen unless you say they do. Okay, so you have the say in something going on, a happening, moving forward, whatever, but a lot of people don't know that. Okay, Mars is here right now in Aquarius till the end of the month, right? I believe into next month. But anyway, when Mars is in transiting in your 12th house, either transiting or even the natal placement of having Mars in your 12th house means for natal, there will always be someone that's supposedly a friend that is secretly jealous and envious of you and undermines you behind your back. Okay? That's natal placement. How would you like to live with that one? I do. Anyway, not I enjoy it, I live with that. Okay? So with transiting here, obviously there's somebody working against you within your group of friends. Usually it could be happening at work, you know, but it's more than likely within your friend group because these planets, before they moved into Aquarius, were in Capricorn in your 11th house of friends. So there could have been something, you know, going on there when even when Mars was in Capricorn. Maybe, you know, 11th house is very sociable house, but it's also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. You know, maybe you were following some kind of goal and a person, it could, sometimes it's an acquaintance or it's a friend who has a friend that they insist on bringing with them every time you guys get together. Okay, maybe nobody likes this person, or maybe just you don't like this person, or this person just doesn't like you. Whatever, there's some possible animosity there and they don't like to see you succeed. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Behind the scenes, though. So keep that in mind that there is somebody that is supposedly a friend of yours that is secretly envious and jealous of you, okay? And they are undermining you behind your back in whatever way. Maybe that's the person, hopefully, that will be eclipsed out of your life, okay? So the sun is just really here up until the 18th before it moves into your sign. And, you know, Mercury's here up until the 6th, then it moves into Pisces. On the 10th, Venus moves into Pisces, and the sun on the 18th, right? And then on the 26th, Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces, all in your first house. Okay, while planets, like since the end of January, when they were in, started with the sun in Aquarius, right, is like when planets are in your 12th house, you're supposed to be like resting up or whatever. Or this is your time of solitude, of your downtime, recharging your batteries, you know, before planets move into your first house and you're like back on the scene again. Well, planets are moving into Pisces a little earlier in February, right? Like I said, with Venus and Mercury. So I do have to mention, if you have listened to my videos previously, that I always say when Venus is in your own sign, your 10th house or your first house, to milk it for all you can, because people find you far more appealing at that time, okay, at this time than in any other. So when Venus moves into Pisces on the 10th, okay, get ready for a lot of attention. I mean, with the sun moving there, you'll get even more, but with Venus here, people, even complete strangers, will compliment you on whatever it is you're wearing, or your hair, or whatever, anything. And people seem to want to do really nice things for you. They want to do little favors for you. They want to take you out to eat, out for drinks, you know, whatever. You could even be getting some early birthday gifts or plans. In fact, people could actually be making plans to do something for your birthday. Could be a surprise. That is another thing that could be going on within the 12th house, behind the scenes thing. Okay, you're with planets still being in Aquarius, right? The sun especially. So yeah, somebody could be making some secret plans for you for your birthday. Something nice. Okay, not everyone's out to get you. Okay. Anyways, with Venus in your first house, you are attracting things to you, such as people, hopefully good people or pleasant people. Okay, and I always say, if you need to speak to someone who's very hard to get along with it, but you need their cooperation with something, do it when Venus is in your sign. Okay, so from the 10th on, if you need to approach somebody that is very hard to get along with, now would be the time to do that, because even they want to be on your good side for some reason or other, right? Okay, and again, I have a Mercury in your first house that is going to retrograde in your first house again, okay? First of all, you're on the receiving and sending end of a lot of communications. You're going to have a lot more conversations than you normally do. And you could start one while Mercury is in direct motion, okay, in your first house. Then, when it retrogrades on the 26th into March, right? Yeah. You could be rethinking it, you know what I mean? Like, even thinking about, like, what did they mean by that? You know, it's somebody can make a pass at you, and it doesn't even dawn on you until Mercury turns retrograde. Something like that, you know, but whatever. Or you could even just finally hear back from someone that maybe you sent some kind of communication out, not even recently, just, you know, could be months ago or whenever, but you could finally hear back from someone, especially when the Mercury turns retrograde, okay? I will tell you, especially when Mercury turns retrograde, to watch what you say, okay? If anyone can misunderstand you, they will. So if you are giving instructions of any kind or directions, or you are trying to make yourself really explicitly clear about how you feel about something, make sure you do that, exactly that, because if anyone could misconstrue or whatever, anything that you say, they will. Okay, that's what Mercury retrograde does when it's in your own sign. So just make sure people clearly understand you and you understand them too. Don't let them just blow you off though by going, yeah, 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 you know, as if they're just getting the gist of what you're saying and they're not really taking it all in. Okay, so especially if you're having a very important conversation, I would try to have it before Mercury turned retrograde or when it turned direct again next month. Okay. So, yeah, the big fun thing about this month, especially for you, is there will be no more planets in your sign. Okay, Saturn finally leaves your sign on the 13th and moves into Aries and your second house. And Neptune moved into Aries last month. So, you know, it's going to be a little different in your second house. It's a money house, second house. So you're going to have to really watch with these two planets there, but at least they're not in your sign anymore, and they're not in your first house, and things are a little bit easier to do. You know, you don't have really anything affecting you, though. Again, these two planets, they're in your house of income, earned income, and possessions and stuff like that. So you'll really have to keep an eye on this very thing. I may do a video on both of these planets. I more than likely will do one on Uranus and Gemini. But yeah, I do have to mention that Uranus is still in Taurus on the 3rd. It turns direct. It was retrograde, right? It's trying to end its transit in Taurus. So that's what it's doing. It's turning direct on the 3rd and will move into Gemini in April, into your 4th house where you have the sign of Gemini. Okay. So that's another thing, you know. I mean, when planets move, it brings like new beginnings, actually. But your 4th house is like your personal life, your home, your family, where you physically live, and the property surrounding it. Your past, your childhood, the foundation of how you were raised. Okay, so it's basically like your home and family and your private life, more or less. Okay, so the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Pisces on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Virgo, and those dates are the 3rd and 4th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling, or speculation, and anything to do with children is the 12th, 13th, 14th, 26th, and 27th. The best time for money is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. The best time for your career is the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And a very happy birthday to you. See ya.